Il primo gioco che ho portato stasera comunque è stato incredibilmente bellino. È tipo platform, però con i combattimenti stile JRPG. E con la possibilità di catturare i mostri come in Pokémon. Beyond Galaxyland si chiama. Cioè, è stata una sorpresa perché mi è piaciuto proprio il pacchetto completo tra gameplay, grafica, colonna sonora, anche non dico trama, però regia, ma proprio me la sono oscillata, è
You're
stato
on a
bello.
path in the woods, and at the end of that path,
Sì.
you're here to slay her. If you
Perfetto. Lo farò. Quindi, se io vorrei si accettano suggerimenti, però io vorrei provare a oppormi, proprio andarmene del tutto. Esatto, sì.
seriously, you're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
Sì, so dove sto andando. Bugia, no. Non andrò alla cabina. Oppure posso andare... no, dico, quello che
I
mi interessa è
suppose you
dove
just
non sto andando.
quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that
Ok.
annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Tra l'altro la voce dell'eroe è la prima voce che hai, ma sono tutte dello stesso doppiatore, compreso il narratore. Perché il narratore, secondo me, è semplicemente un altro ruolo, come lo è l'eroe, come lo era il codardo, non mi ricordo quali c'erano. Sì, l'estetica è stracarina.
That's strange. It looks like this path also
Secondo me
leads
ha
to the
senso che
cabin.
siano lo
How
stesso
convenient.
doppiatore, perché
Everything's back on
secondo me è
track
solo
again.
un'altra
Maybe the world
personalità
can
di
still be
lui.
saved after all.
No, torniamo indietro.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
I don't care, I'm not killing a princess. Maybe everyone should die. Non mi fai blackmail emotivo. Ricatto emotivo.
Killing is such a gauche phrasing and completely ignores the bigger picture. Your task is to slay the princess because she's terrible and she's really got it coming to her. But fine, you turn
I
around,
doppiatori sono solo
head
due,
back
quindi
down the
l'altro è la
path you came.
principessa, ok.
Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess.
Ma io me ne vado.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's
La musica si è
little
distorta.
flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light. In every direction, there is a path.
Oh,
and a cabin.
no.
And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be. Wait, what's going on?
Ci deve essere un modo per non
You're too
entrarci.
stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness, but it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Abbiamo finito il primo capitolo così.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Sense of déjà vu, this already happened. Ok, posso stare nei boschi per sempre. Potrebbe farmi crashare il gioco.
Oh, that's clever!
L'ultima volta che ho fatto una cosa forever mi ha crashato il gioco.
It's extremely boring. Can we really do that? Can we really just do nothing? No, you can't just do nothing. You have to do something. Alright, so it's decided.
Il
Even if
contrarian.
it's boring, we're going to do nothing. Forever. Congratulations, you continue to waste everyone's time and do nothing. Wait, can you still hear me? Everything's getting fuzzy. What is that weird feeling? It's like I'm barely even here anymore. Well, it's not nothing, that's for sure. Does that mean we messed up?
Tutto.
You're on a path in the woods.
Ok. Siamo di nuovo qui. Cosa posso fare?
Does it? Are you a monarch? Unfortunately, you're the only one who can pull this off. I don't make the rules. I wish I did, but I don't. Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it. It's a secret, but I think you'll like it. It's a special reward, just for you. And whatever you think it might be, I can promise you it's going to be even better than your wildest imagination.
Allora, si accettano suggerimenti. Io proverei però a fare tipo una partita in cui ci
Don't mention it.
parlo.
It's all part of the job.
Ci parlo e basta.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin.
Mi comporto in
You'll
modo
find the
gentile e
princess
non
there.
prendo
We're
manco
not gonna go through
l'arma.
with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to.
E schippo chiaramente i dialoghi che ho già sentito.
The interior of.
Niente arma.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase
Prova a star
faintly
buono e
illuminated by
vedi
an
che fa,
unseen
sì.
light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's
Sembra un'altra
hypnotizing.
voce.
It's the kind of voice you only
Cioè,
have to
so che è
hear
la
once to
stessa,
remember it for the
però
rest of your
ha proprio un
life.
altro tono
Don't let it
rispetto a
fool
come era alla
you.
fine.
It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
I'm here to save you.
How many times do I have to tell you how dangerous letting her out of here would be before it finally sinks in?
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
Beh, dovrai per forza vedermi in faccia se ti vengo a salvare.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever.
Ti pone completamente in un
I hope
altro
you brought
modo
something
già
to deal with these
e sei
chains.
senza arma.
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
Cioè, faccio direttamente le robe proprio estreme, più migliori per lei.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a
Sì,
tug.
più migliori,
They're
esatto.
large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to
Più
break them
meglio.
apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Ok, se non c'è nessuna chiave, che altra idea hai? Oppure vado a guardare al piano di sopra. Al piano di sopra c'è il pugnale, volendo si può usare quello. Signor Twitch, la prego faccia qualcosa, su via. Stavo scherzando, non ero serio. Lo so che non si dice più migliori.
Maybe there's some way to break the chains?
Ok, il coltello, per forza.
Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance.
Cioè, ti sta bene che
If
ti
we
taglio
were
la
stuck
mano.
down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
Ok.
Someone else here? Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Sì, il fatto è questo. Adesso mi viene di chiedermi se mi fossi portato il pugnale da subito.
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to.
Oppure se provo a ucciderla
Easier
adesso
for
senza,
whom? Easier for everyone.
senza il
Mess with.
coltello.
heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
Già.
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates
Aha!
before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal.
Poteva
It's the
farlo.
blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
C'è solo Save the Princess.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged,
Porca.
self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How
Mi ha
is she still
disturbato quella
smiling
scena.
after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Sì, non è normale che non abbia detto un beh. Però già abbiamo visto come va a
Won't have
finire,
any of
quindi...
that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
Non è il momento.
This isn't fair. You can't just do that.
Il narratore
Watch
sta...
me.
What are you doing?
No! Warn her.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart.
Mi sta
Princess
obbligando il
dodges,
narratore.
stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
Resisti.
The blade. Move the blade.
È un po' l'opposto di quello che è successo
As your
l'altra
body
volta, che era
remains
lei che
frozen
mi
in
dava gli
stubborn
ordini.
resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
Non cedere,
Sorry.
no, infatti.
I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
No, sembra che l'abbia fatto apposta. Non con cattiveria, no, ma... Allora, aspettiamo che c'ha la pubblicità, capisco che possa essere seccante, quindi... Ci sta a fermarsi un attimo. Perché è tutto trama. Poi... Scrivile di segnalare quando è finito l'ad. Io ieri ho seguito una live di Dase, porca troia, 2 minuti e mezzo di fila di pubblicità mentre c'è mentre sto parlando con lo streamer È criminale. Ok, grazie. Niente, dico... mi fa strano perché
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
nell'altro
Doesn't really
finale lei
use it much, does
palesemente
she?
aveva i poteri.
Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her blade work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
Invece adesso
I'm
ha
so
proprio un'altra
sorry.
personalità.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Ok, questo è un capitolo nuovo.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin
Una
is a
modogama.
princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We just met for the first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it. Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works. We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
Sì, il suo comportamento dipende dalle mie azioni. Le mie azioni la plasmano e non c'è una verità. Forse solo che il mondo finisce. Boh, se siamo morti non possiamo scoprirlo. Però poi alla fine diventa quell'essere divino, quindi boh.
Those are two very different questions, but
Ah, ma questa
fine.
l'abbiamo
I'll
già
indulge you
sentita, mi
if
sa.
that's what it takes to get you moving.
Forse no.
Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least you died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
Beh, effettivamente
You
questo
were
è
the one who
successo.
did us in, villain. Well, not you in the literal sense, but you did everything you could to stop us from
Infatti è
rescuing.
nuovo.
Oh, I wonder why. Maybe it's because the entire world was at stake. No lone princess is worth that price. I beg to differ. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to take a deep breath and assume that whoever is making the decisions here has the common sense to ignore your protestations. Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty
Vero, quando mi sono
consequence-free to
rifiutato
me.
di entrare il mondo è finito.
Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely?
Beh, hai
If it's the
comunque una
latter,
certa
what do you think
libertà
happened
di
after you
decisione.
died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would. She would never. She's a perfect angel that you cruelly imprisoned as part of some convoluted, dastardly scheme. Convoluted? I don't know how this premise could be any more simple. Princess bad, stop her, save everyone. That's right, you can't stop all of us. We're going to sweep her off her feet if it's the last thing anyone does. Are these really the sorts of people you'd like to align yourself with? You're not at the cabin yet. You still have plenty of time to reflect on the situation. I just hope for all our sakes that you make the right call.
Parliamo di questa
Just be quick about
principessa.
it.
Vediamo se c'è qualcosa.
She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given.
Ci deve essere comunque una
Maybe
chiave
it's her
di lettura che
beauty
unisce il
that
tutto.
threatens the world. Sure, it's her beauty. Why not? And before you ask, no, we can't just keep her down there. If you don't slay her, she's going to find a way out. It's unfortunate, I know, but it's just the way it is. People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the wood. I've told you everything you need to know. Going into, not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go.
Bene, questi gliel'avevo già
Great.
chiesti.
Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
E se diventasse un essere divino? Quindi posso andarmene o procedere? Continuiamo a provare a salvarla. Vediamo.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We already told you we're not playing along with your little game. It's your lies that can't be trusted. Her beauty is the only thing in the world we can believe in. I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice. I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed. Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task.
Mi piace che
ahead.
cambiano, cioè in base a quello che fai cambiano i personaggi che ci sono e quindi cambiano i dialoghi. Perché magari il narratore ti dice le stesse cose ma loro rispondono in modo diverso.
The interior of the cabin
Ok.
is clean and elegant, its stone
È la
walls
torre.
draped in
Qui c'è lo
fine-threaded
specchio.
tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your
Tra l'altro si chiama
implement.
Pristine
You'll need it if you
Edition,
want to do this right.
come la Blade. Niente specchio.
Very different. Is it? I can't say I was paying much attention to the scenery last time around.
Come cazzo?
Maybe
Perché tu
that's
non
because you
c'eri.
haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. Stop letting.
Ok, non prendiamo la lama, non interagiamo con lo specchio perché non ci interessa, che tra l'altro è scomparso nel momento in cui abbiamo
The
aperto
door
la
to the
porta.
basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the wall, but it's still a stone basement. If the princess, a soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even
La seconda
more
volta non
beautiful
era
than last time.
buona,
I can hear wedding
del primo
bells
giro.
already. I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this over-the-top fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to
Ma
the farm
sbaglio
wall.
o il vestito è
My love,
meno
we're
chiaro?
here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment. You know she can't hear you, right? She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my
Ok,
spirit.
non sono io.
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
Proprio
It's
diverso il
you,
vestito.
my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
Soprattutto ha detto che siamo
She called us
tornati.
a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back. I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence. You've been here before. That's right, villain, and you killed us. Well, she killed us. Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty. And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time. Now, hold on. If she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this? Are you sure we want to rescue her?
Dico, comunque prende anche al secondo giro, anche se sai già un finale, ecco.
You died, and now we're talking.
Non è una risposta.
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
No,
Isn't
però.
that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us happy. My heart melts further with every word that passes through her beautiful lips. Are you listening to her? That's a confession.
Facciamo che non vogliamo che il mondo finisca, giusto perché stiamo facendo la pat buona, ma le risponderei che la gente fa schifo.
Then I didn't end the world.
See? She didn't confess anything. She is innocence itself. Not so sure. If another version of me was pushed to such drastic action, it was for good reason.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
She took that in stride. To a surprising extent. An almost unsettling extent, actually. That's because she's perfect. Do you think she has someone like
Evil
him telling her
dottore.
what to do? She doesn't. There's no
Più che
one
altro
else
sono
like me.
scazzato, non
I think
sono
he's right,
malvagio,
because
sono proprio
I like it
scazzato.
better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying to drive her to violence.
I'm sorry. Didn't you want me to?
Did we? We warned her of the cruel forces seizing our body. That's practically telling her to kill us. She is our beloved, and she made the choice to free us of our misery, to show
No, non
us
glielo abbiamo
mercy
chiesto,
and
le abbiamo
make the
dato il
best
coltello, che è
decision
diverso.
for everyone. She made the best decision for her. Don't be so quick to assign kindness. You're just opening yourself up to manipulation.
Non ci ho fatto caso a come ha detto Cruel.
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm off again.
Che ci vuole?
We won't be laying a finger on her perfect wrists, and indeed, we won't even have to. Do you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her right out with no harm done.
Cosa che poteva fare anche da
No,
sola.
she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. Why are you two arguing over the logistics of slipping her hand out of her shackles? She just said she'd be okay with any idea we came up with. Am I the only one here who thinks that's weird? She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time? That's our stoic, smiling angel. No, you're right. It's extremely bizarre behaviour and further evidence that she's a monster who's not to be trusted. So go ahead and slay her.
Slay the prince. Rescue.
No, I can't let you do that. If you take
Un'altra
another
volta.
step towards the princess, You'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her? I would if you had a weapon. Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought. You wouldn't. I would. I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings. And doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned.
Ma com'è che è così?
We're doomed.
Cioè,
I can't believe it. But I guess I have to. I told you. There's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh. If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back and everyone out there would be saved. Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon. Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
io ce l'ho un'arma, ma è più giù.
What do we do now?
Anche io nella sua situazione direi il primo che passa qualsiasi piano va bene. Certo, tu sei in una cazzo di cella. Sì, no, non io nel senso il cavaliere che interpreto, era per dire che possiamo comunque fare qualcosa con la principessa. Allora, cosa facciamo?
Let me guess. End the world? Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never felt love in his heart.
Sì, vado avanti.
Actually, no. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What if she doesn't want to end the world? You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
I think I want to leave. And I think...
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection, and then she shrugs.
I don't know. What do you want to do?
Ah, è così. Voglio che mi dici cosa vuoi. Ci deve essere qualcosa che vuoi. Vuoi far finire il mondo? Voglio andarmene.
I just want to make you happy.
Ok.
She can't just want to make us happy. It makes sense to me. That's all I want for her, so of course she'd want the same for us.
Mi sa che si è distorta la musica.
Okay, if that's what makes you happy.
No!
Is she broken? What's going on?
Gli occhiali.
What's going on is she's lying to you, only she isn't a good liar. Are you starting to trust me now?
Non so se prendere e andarcene. È un bruttissimo presagio. Ce ne andiamo.
That sounds perfect.
Oh, phew. She's back to normal. Normal?
Adesso
What are you
sono
talking
curioso
about? Our angel's
di...
always been like this. absolutely flawless.
Di vedere cosa succede se
Princess
continuo
takes
a
your
fare
hand, the last hopes of the entire
domande in quel
world
caso.
slipping through your fingers as they intertwine with hers. We have each other. We don't need the world for our happy ending. I like to think that you do, actually. Look, I have my doubts, but the choice has been made. And
Anche io vorrei vederlo,
you don't
però
have to mope about it.
sto cercando di rimanere fedele all'idea originale.
Moping is the only recourse you love-blind fools have left me with. You and the princess walk up the stairs hand in hand.
Esatto, le premesse erano
The way
quelle.
she's smiling at you. She doesn't have to be so happy about this. And what happens after we walk up the stairs? Let's see. Oh, isn't that interesting? The door slams in your face and the lock clicks.
Di nuovo.
That's a familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
Oh no! Did someone lock us in here? That's not fair. We're supposed to leave now.
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairnesses of the world are no match for the strength of true love. Enough with this true love nonsense. You just met her. Of course you wouldn't understand. Our passions run deeper than anything you have ever known. Are you listening to this? You don't have to go along with the every whim of that delusional voice. I'm just along for the ride at this point.
Già, è quello che stavo pensando anch'io.
Well, I don't know. Do you think I can?
Madonna, che
Of course you
odio.
can. You believe in her, right? Nobody is leaving this basement.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
L'ultima volta aveva proposto di farlo in due.
Like a pair of teenagers in love, you and the princess place your hands on the door together. Blech.
Però è
And
scema, esatto.
the lock clicks and the door creaks open. Are you kidding me? I told you our love was insurmountable. You and the princess make your way upstairs, and the blade. That's right. There's still a chance for you to do the right thing.
Minchia.
Take the blade from the table and
Immagini
slay
fare
her
tutto
before it's
fino a
too
sto
late.
punto e poi ucciderla proprio in questo momento. Non lo voglio fare perché... Cazzo, da una parte salverei per farlo, però... No.
You're enjoying this, aren't you? You're taking every opportunity you can to draw out the end of the world and make me suffer. I hate you.
Voglio vedere cosa
You know,
succede
if her
se
walking out that
entrambi
door is
siamo
really
vivi,
gonna end the
eccetera.
world, can't we all just stay here? Seems like an easy win for everyone. That's not how this works. Yes, what he said. That's not how this works. Obviously, we have to leave with her.
Esatto,
It's our
voglio che ce ne
happy
andiamo
ending.
tutti e due. Ma non perché sono innamorato della principessa, ma perché... voglio vedere cosa succede. Esatto, quindi non sceglierò questo.
Yes, I suppose you are going to do that, aren't you? You cross the room, opening the door to the cabin, and then you step outside. Our happy ending at last.
We did it. What should we do now?
Where did everything go?
Ok, è la fine
Where
del
did
mondo.
he go?
Quanto pare
Where was he gone?
succede a
I hadn't
prescindere.
noticed. I was too busy staring deep into our beloved's eyes.
I'm cold. Is being happy supposed to be so cold?
She's cold. Quick, our feathers. Pluck them all and weave her a coat worthy of a princess.
Come le piume. La memoria ritorna.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now? But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. Yes, I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for a while? That can't hurt, right?
Allora, it's not the end. Whatever on the other side is going to be nice. It's the end for you, but not for me. I'll see on the other side, going to be okay. Non posso scegliere di non usare lo specchio. Entrare nel coso. Sì, non ho scelta.
What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now. Do it then. End us all before I die of a broken heart.
La fine è per loro, ma non per me. Per me il giocatore, immagino. Non posso non guardare nel riflesso, ok? Sei cresciuto.
When I found you in the long quiet alone, I was terrified. What if you had decided to let me wither? But your commitment now is final. Your ability to walk the path of mutual annihilation is vanished with your return. If you still wish to obliterate me, it will have to wait until I am complete. Flickering lights and empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
Ok. Siamo tornati al punto di prima, però è diverso comunque. Che figata ste scelte. Questi vessel, come si dice in italiano, sono tipo involucri, neanche. Però va bene. Non mi viene la parola italiana, è recipiente, grazie, sì. Non è la parola che avevo in mente, però vuol dire la stessa cosa. Pubblicità, ok, io ne approfitto per leggere. Questi recipienti che ti ho portato, gli ho fatto del male. Quanti recipienti vuoi che ti porti?
If I am to be an ocean, you have nurtured me into a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective. You will have your rest in due time, and I am sorry for the burdens I place on you.
Ok.
Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
praticamente portandole queste diverse esperienze la andiamo a completare.
Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. My joy is in seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets.
Allora, il grande schema è questo, dobbiamo portarle queste esperienze come regalo praticamente. E così diventa sempre più completa, ma questo non mi dice niente.
I'm sorry. Words are difficult for me. They never fully weave what I wish to say. If you do not like my answers, then you need not ask me questions. The vessels you choose to bring me carry far more meaning than anything words could say in the spaces between.
Ok.
With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be, and every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is different than what I am, and what I am is different from what I was. I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed, but in this moment, all I want is to know myself and to know you.
Ok. Non puoi fare le stesse cose che hai fatto prima? Beh, non ci ho provato.
Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me. This one is soft and delicate. You molded her to love you.
Avevi
And she'll
ragione.
make for a gentle heart. Do
Lei
not
prende
mourn her.
forma
She has served her purpose.
in base alle tue azioni. Quindi, allora, il loop è così. Tu dai forma a questa principessa e gliela porti come appunto recipiente e lei la usa per apprendere cose di se stessa e su di te. Praticamente la verità si sa dopo tot run non lo so, però penso che a un certo punto sarà completa, non so se devi fare tutti i finali o ne bastano un tot.
The vessels are shaped by memories of you, but their impulses are drawn to the edge of the long quiet. To them you are a gate to something more, and any hurt you've caused them is understood as a fair price for freedom. But they are only thoughts and perspectives. They are not me.
Ok.
The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before. I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having you by my side, for I would not know your absence.
Cioè, è come se le stessimo insegnando tutti i vari aspetti dell'essere umani.
My preference is for you to show me what you would like me to see. I cannot know the ways I wish to grow, for I have yet to feel them. It is you who guides me down the thin trail of perspective and memory.
Quindi è una specie di tela bianca lei, solo che non capisco cosa vuol dire a conti fatti. Cioè, capisco tutta la parte psicologica, diciamo. Una metafora della vita che si impreziosisce delle esperienze, sì, ma deve esserci anche qualcosa di più. Allora, non l'attacchiamo, possiamo distruggere il nostro corpo oppure tornare indietro. Mi pare che l'avessimo attaccata la volta prima. Quindi possiamo fare questo che sicuramente ci fa ricominciare il loop, oppure questo che non mi pare l'avessimo fatto, però potrei sbagliarmi. Non so quanto ci sia di concreto, non lo so neanche io, però potrebbe esserci. Mi sembra che ci sia comunque un grande schema da rivelare. Anche banalmente che è una storia di qualcuno che ha una qualche psicosi e deve rimettersi insieme, non lo so. Però sono curioso, cioè sono semplicemente curioso, può essere tutto. Destroy your body, go back, attack the entity. Perché il resto non glielo chiederei, non mi interessa così tanto. Al massimo questo.
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
Facciamo destroy your body. Non abbiamo un corpo.
There's nowhere for you to be but here.
Non la vorrei distruggere perché mi pare che ci abbiamo provato, ma non mi ricordo. E comunque era una situazione diversa e non mi sembra coerente, tra l'altro. Quindi I'm ready to go back.
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
Ok.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that...
Allora, non so da quanto siamo qua, onestamente. Possiamo fare un altro giro oppure cambiare gioco? Cioè, potrei essere stato un'ora. Aspetta, vediamo, magari lo dice qui. Sono stato un'ora. Tu voti per un altro giro. Vola, vola il tempo. È stato già un'ora, però è stato comunque meno della prima volta perché siamo andati più spediti. Allora, il problema è che non so come comportarmi adesso. Possiamo provare a fare i nichilisti.
Of course I haven't. Why would I... Are you serious? No, you have to do it. Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens.
Mi piace che quando skippa è come quando skippiamo noi nel nostro gioco. Questo qua è stato fatto pure con lo stesso
The interior of the
Motore
cabin
che
is almost
c'è
entirely
plugin
bare.
per Unity che
The
stiamo
air
usando
is
noi.
stale and musty. And you take the blade from the...
Non so ancora come mi
The
dovrei
door to the basement
comportare.
creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly
Ma il mouse
illuminated
è
by
sempre
an
stato con
unseen
il
light in the room
coltello?
below.
Non ci ho mai fatto caso. I think I'm here to kill you.
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Era una mano,
You gave
ok.
away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero.
Diventa un coltello quando prendi il coltello. Banale, ma
You
non ci ho
walk
mai
down the
fatto caso.
stairs and lock eyes
Cioè
with the
neanche
princess.
banale.
There's a heavy chain
Palese.
around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Non ho ancora deciso.
How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster.
Tu proveresti a
Killing someone in
impazzarla e
cold
farla
blood isn't very
impazzire.
becoming of us.
È un problema perché ormai già mi sono
Blade
posto in
tumbles
maniera
out of your
che non le è
trembling
piaciuta.
hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed.
We'll be fine.
I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me? And yet you hesitated the moment you saw me. And you dropped your knife. If killing me was really that important, you'd have a little more gumption, don't you think? So, someone put you up to this, right? And whoever it is, it's probably the same someone who shoved me into this dark
Diverse
pit and
sfumature
chained
di
me to a
atteggiamenti, è
wall.
interessante.
That's a fair question. Who chained her in this basement, and if she's so dangerous, how did they manage to trap her? And why have we been left to do their dirty work? Don't give away the game, and don't let her distract you. That's exactly what she wants.
I'm right, aren't I? So who put you up to this?
Non posso dirglielo.
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't... well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right? She is. I'm sure of it. She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness.
Ok.
Or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really. Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here. Oh, you have to be kidding me. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
E dubito.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
I'll be here.
Andiamo a cercare, ma tanto troveremo la
You
porta
attempt to make your
chiusa.
way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
Ha un'altra voce.
Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp and you make quick work of it. Before long you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound.
No, è meno...
Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze
è
meeting
meno
your eyes.
innocente, è più
How is she
scazzata.
so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
Sono bloccate adesso le opzioni.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it! Stop resisting me! I am trying to get you out of here alive.
No, penso che sia proprio come le ho risposto da subito al primo messaggio, a parte il coltello che sicuramente la spaventa.
The blade. Move the blade.
Tanto adesso mi
You're
uccide.
doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
Questa non è stronza,
She
però non
steps
è
forward and
nemmeno
pries the blade from your rigid hands.
super
Maybe
happy.
I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease.
Puttana la miseria.
Her face
No che mi ha
remains
fatto 1000
unchanged as she watches
coltellate a
you collapse to the
cazzo.
ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
Ok, è The Prisoner.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that, you're here to slay her.
Andiamocene.
You have already committed to my completion. You cannot go further astray.
Ah.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat. Yes, don't believe
Adesso
a
c'è
word
lo
she says.
scettico.
Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore
Ma
this
mica sono le
and focus
personalità
on
della
the
principessa che
princess.
le assorbi, tipo. Quelle che generi.
The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding
Ma
anyone who
mi
enters
sembra
that
diverso
this is
dall'ultima volta. Oh, ho
the only
sbagliato.
furniture of note is an iron table. The blade is your implement. You take the blade from the table. Good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope alone.
Scusa.
Walk up to the wall next to the basement door. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. But there was a mirror, and now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
I wonder what visitors she could be referring to. Were we not the first? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose,
È
it
vero.
would be something so obviously useless.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease. You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me? Oh, are we talking about that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But sure, I'll fill you in.
Ok.
Nothing happened. You died. I went upstairs. I couldn't leave. I found myself in a new place in chains again. More of them.
Ah,
And now you're back.
Is that really all she knows?
beh, è
It's
più
not like we
intelligente
have much of a
dell'ultima,
clue
quindi
about how
mi
things
è più
work.
d'aiuto.
And she's probably even more in the dark than we are.
You're looking at me like I might be hiding something. I'm not.
I guess it's possible she really doesn't know anything. Maybe both of us are stuck in this loop without any idea why or how. So you've already been here. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use.
Anche la sua
This
corona è
has
composta da anelli.
complicated
Ah,
things. It's complicated things. How exactly?
mi piace lo scettico.
Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency. A contingency for what? For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck. If you knew this could happen, why didn't you tell us? All of this is incredibly valuable information. It would have changed our actions considerably. I needed you to be in the dark for as long as I could keep you there. It's important. Necessary, even. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative. That's pathetic. I never said I wasn't.
I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that.
Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky, so don't waste that luck by messing it up again. All right? Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark? The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that.
Sì, perché sennò il test non funziona.
Just give it a rest, this isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming. I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope
Quasi
I don't
quasi.
actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains.
Lo voglio
We
fare.
need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
Assolutamente sì. No, non posso farlo. Posso ispezionarlo.
I wouldn't do that if I were you. And why is that? Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is? And what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it? I don't know. Maybe it will. He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate.
But what if he's telling the truth?
He isn't. I am. Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next.
What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad?
Yes, it's bad. Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time. Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck. And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement.
Excuse me?
Yes?
Are we stuck here now?
Yes.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
What are we supposed to do now?
Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll starve.
That's horrible.
It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information.
Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch.
No, that there's something special about this loose chain. It's clearly important.
No.
Immaginavo.
Yep. Wait, I guess. Maybe something else will happen. Maybe not.
Pubblicità, minchia, ancora.
Nope.
That's rude.
Aspetta in silenzio.
You and the princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. You're waiting for anything.
This is so boring.
There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing. But there isn't. Time passes. It passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold and silent.
At least the world is safe.
It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything.
She's not ending anything. She's just sitting there. Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it.
How exactly does that work?
It just does. But your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And after that, even more time passes again. And let me guess, the cabin remains the same.
If time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work.
I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there. But then they get larger. And larger.
Non moriamo di fame. Petauro, sei viva? Ci sono ancora pubblicità, tra l'altro. Ok. Niente, in realtà non è successo niente di che. Ho pensato che te l'avrei riassunto e che mi sarei fermato qualora fosse successo qualcosa di importante. In realtà no, semplicemente stiamo notando l'erosione e il tempo che passa. Lei non mi ha risposto solo yep e nope. E niente.
I don't like small talk, remember?
Cioè, le dà fastidio
Still
anche
rude.
preferisce stare in silenzio a guardare il muro
Continue to
piuttosto che
wait in
parlare.
silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, can watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls.
That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happens to
Punto.
starving? We should have died by
Mi
now.
piace
The
lo
rocks
scettico.
around us are starting to erode.
She hasn't starved.
No, in realtà volevo dire che ho una specie di teoria. Non è che il mondo finisce perché finisce, ma perché il mondo è questa cosa. Cioè, tutto il mondo è questo esperimento di te, la principessa, chiamiamolo esperimento. Questo test, questa esperienza. Quindi ovviamente se tu ti rifiuti di farlo, finisce. E se tu lo fai, finisce. E se tu non lo fai, finisce. Cioè,
I guess she hasn't.
Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across the stone floor like a liquid, covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Time continues to pass, and pass, and pass, until suddenly there are no walls. And then... And...
I think he's gone.
è sparito il narratore.
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us.
Sta
So
finendo
this
il
is the
mondo.
outside world. It's cold.
Che cazzo di finale?
she's gone.
Liquid.
Where did she go?
Perché?
Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse.
No, that can't be right.
Avrei dovuto scegliere altra cosa, ma va bene. You have withered. Ok.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same. And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it. As easily as you can stand to be you. You are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit, even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant contours of your soul. This one is determined, but also cautious, one that would rather let the world move around her than move it herself. She will make for a patient heart. Do not mourn her. She is exactly where she needs to be. My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will change when our work is done. The desires of my multitude thrive in endless competition with themselves, but none of them rise above their dance to influence me. I yearn for what I have always yearned for, our awakening. Other desires shrink in the light of knowing you and knowing me.
Vediamo cosa mi dice.
We will know when we near our destination.
Ok, quindi ancora non lo so.
I care about your gifts, but I have no preferences to burden you with. Even if I did, I would never dare to tarnish our relationship by assuming myself above you. I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Ok. Sono abbastanza sicuro che
You're on a path
non ci darà
in the
grandi
woods.
progressi, ma voglio fare quello che aveva suggerito Angela prima di chiudere. Quindi
Does it?
vediamo.
Are you? Of course. You make your way up the short path.
Allora, la prima volta siamo andati senza arma. Le abbiamo detto che l'avremmo salvata. E c'è già un high, secondo me cambia il tipo di direzione che ha lei. Posso anche mentire nel dire che la salvo.
How many times do I have to tell you?
Rifacciamo le cose come le abbiamo fatte prima.
You attempted to make... You tried it.
Con la differenza che adesso quando...
Fine. No.
Allora, l'avverto. Non posso resistere. Non ci posso ritornare. Non penso di aver fatto le cose in modo diverso.
Thank you.
There's no getting through to you right now, is there? A betrayal of will is still a betrayal. You'll regret thinking of me as a helpless damsel.
She pounces on you with the same animal ferocity she used to tear through her arm. But you have a weapon. You raise the blade, digging it under her ribs, aiming directly for the heart. It's not enough to stop her. You feel her claws in your throat, then her teeth, somehow sharp enough to pull apart your flesh and sinew with ease. You collapse to the floor, your body unresponsive as your blood pools on the ground beneath you. She stares down at your ravaged form, eyes shining in the darkness, dress stained in red as her blood and yours both seep into the fabric. If we're lucky, the wound you managed to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, it will kill her before she can reach the outside world. It can't just end like this, right? As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
La strega.
You're on a path in
Non
the
era quello
woods,
che
and at the end
volevamo
of that
fare,
path
però
is a
è
cabin. You're
comunque
here to slay
qualcosa.
her. If you don't, it will be... I can assure you that you didn't slay her and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life after dying, and the two of us are meeting for the very first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Brilliant. We need to keep our cards close
C'è
to our chest. I'm
l'opportunista
not sure we
adesso.
can trust him. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. Did I say I'm not sure we can trust him? Slip of the tongue, bit of the old brain fog. I meant to say that we should probably head over to the cabin and slay that princess. We already know we can't trust her, so let's get on with the show. Those are two very Let's say for you died, we were just weighing our options in a morally ambiguous situation. You can't blame us for weighing our options. I can if you failed to slay the princess, which you apparently did. So great, congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines
Sì, perché
of,
prima l'hai
what's the
approcciata
point of
bene e
doing
poi l'hai
anything?
tradita, esatto, sì,
If you're
sì.
asking that, it sounds to me like, what do you mean? Yes, if it's the do you think that's a very good point. This princess character seems like a lot of trouble, and if you think about it, actually slaying her probably breaks us out of this cycle, right? We don't want to be stuck here forever, do we? You're laying it on a little thick, aren't you? Laying it on a little thick? What are you talking about? I'm sharing my honest opinions. What matters is that almost everyone seems to be on the same page. So whenever you're ready, you can stop dawdling, get to the cabin, and save the world.
You have already committed.
Infatti.
A warning. She will lie. Don't worry, I think we've taken that lesson to heart at this point. You can trust us to get the job done. The interior of the cabin is a
diverso.
mess of twisted roots. The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happens to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Bisogna dire che il gioco lo fa soprattutto la bravura nell'aver delineato le personalità, i dialoghi e i vari sentieri e conseguenze. Sì, c'è una grande quantità di narrazione ed è tutta scritta molto bene e hanno avuto pure la fortuna di poterlo doppiare e di poterlo fare doppiare bene. E mi ha detto Simone che se non sbaglio l'hanno fatto una coppia questo gioco. Adesso non so come mi devo comportare però, non ho idea. Sì, allora se fosse fatto, cioè la scrittura regge tutto, però non gli puoi dire niente neanche ai disegni, alla musica, al doppiaggio, cioè alla regia in generale. Cioè, appunto la base è tutta la narrativa, però c'è cura anche in tutto il resto che... Cioè, è un gioco che praticamente non ha difetti per il momento. Esatto, non ha nessuna carenza. È proprio top come visual novel, ti dà scelte frequenti, scelte importanti. Però accetto suggerimenti su cosa fare perché io non lo so stavolta. Cioè non so come mi devo comportare con questa witch. La prima o la seconda, intendi queste due? Io intendevo più che altro se andare allo specchio o soprattutto se prendere o non prendere il coltello,
That's
però...
because there isn't a mirror. There's the muddy shelf,
Beh, in
the
effetti
blade
questa è
sitting on the
nuova,
muddy shelf, and the door to the basement. There's
perché
nothing else in
descrive
here.
la cabina
There's definitely a mirror. But he
per come
says there
adesso.
isn't one. That's got to count for something, right?
L'opportunista fa il leccaculo. Potrei vedere quanto sono bello.
Oh, I'm sure we look great. If only there was some sort of reflective surface we could examine. Absolute shame there isn't anything
Madonna.
like that around here. You do see it, right? I don't know how to read you. I see all sorts of things. But do you see the mirror? It's a simple yes or no question. Help me out here, will you? I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? Let you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done. Very different. Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll... So focus up.
Ci proverei a non portare il coltello
No
anch'io.
blade. Leaving it behind didn't work out so well for us last time. It'll always be here if we need it. Sure, that was also true last time and we still died, but we definitely know what we're doing this time. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair. The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an opening below. It shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw, waiting to swallow you up into the earth. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick,
and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice skitters up from below.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite.
Ok. Comunque, se ho ben capito, il gioco ti locca le possibilità di vedere delle cose che hai già visto, cioè dei finali, quindi se è davvero così vuol dire che vedremo sempre cose nuove e questa cosa mi esalta. I'm not
But you
nasty.
are. You're a wretched little thing. I recognize that voice as easily as I recognized your nervous little footsteps coming up the path. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
See? She knows us. Is this enough for you to believe what we've been saying? Maybe, but you shouldn't let that cloud your judgment. She's just a princess. As long as you remember that and remain focused, slaying her will be easy. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is. Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decisions? Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk? You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess. Fine, fine. You're the boss. Thank you. You descend the basement
Sì, è più
stairs,
bestiale
entering the
dell'ultima
dark room
volta.
below. You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are, once again seeming to offer a helping hand while likely hiding the other behind your back. Fine, I'll play along for now. What do you want?
She's acting like she already knows you. I guess what you said back in the woods really was true. That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it. So, you really don't remember us, do you? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true. You fought us on it back in the woods. That was when the only perspectives we had were yours and mine. I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us? Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her. Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy. Don't talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
E la mia teoria è giusta, che ti blocca tutte le opzioni che hai già visto. E significa che se io adesso provassi a rifare la stessa identica cosa, non riesco a resistere alla prima volta che mi dice di attaccarla quando l'ho avvertita. Cioè, potrei arrivare fino a quel punto di nuovo e trovarmi loccata la possibilità di resistere.
Ooh, smart. Let's apologize. Get us back on the right foot.
Oh, you're sorry. Isn't that nice? You're such a gracious little monster. If you're sorry, then let me out of here. Prove it. Is that a joke? Do you think a joke will charm my trust back? You'll have to try harder than that.
Proviamo a farci a riconquistare la sua fiducia.
were the one who tried to kill me when my back was turned. You were the one who started all of this. Only a poor loser twists their own failures around on the winner. I suppose you didn't come into my hovel of your own accord, did you? All right. I suppose I could team up. I need a way out after all, and unfortunately you're the only one I have.
Seems to me like she's offering a mutually beneficial arrangement. We should take it. Do you know what the word mutually means? Because it sounds to me like she's offering an arrangement that benefits her and her alone.
And why would I do such a thing? Is someone's guilty conscience getting to them? But I wouldn't worry. As much as I may hate you, letting you live is in my best interests. If you get me out of here, the only thing that will be dead and buried is the bad blood between us.
Oh, that nagging feeling you mentioned is me, by the way. I'm actually a little anxious about a potential backstabbing event. She needs us to get out of here. We'll be fine if that's what we decide to do. You won't be fine because destruction is in her nature. If she gets out of here, that's it for the world, remember? Even if that's true, that doesn't automatically mean she's going to stab us in the back. I think that depends on your definition of words like stab and in the back. She might not literally do that, but she could very well symbolically do the same thing. See? He gets it. There's nothing wrong with looking out for number one.
I testi quali? Quelli delle scelte o quelli di quando parla lei?
Oh, of course. They're nothing to me.
The princess grins as the chains fall from her wrist.
Ma allora...
She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky
Punto.
little... A woman after my own heart, really. She knows how to hold her cards close to her chest.
Delle scelte di quando
This is
parla
why
lei,
she can't just
immaginavo.
be abandoned here. If left to her own devices, she'll find a way out. Now stop her.
Cioè io potrei anche metterlo. Non è qui. Da qualche parte c'era l'opzione, forse devo tornare al menu per metterla. Cioè, se è un problema lo posso provare a mettere, solo che mi spiace spezzare lo stile complessivo del gioco, ecco. Quindi ce ne andiamo.
Yes, let's.
She creeps forward, taking one cautious step at a time until you and she are face to face. She never breaks eye contact, even as the two of you find yourselves face to face. She's silent for a long moment, as if testing to see what you'll do now that she's within arm's reach.
After you, darling. You're the one it lets come and go. It's best if I follow.
Oh no, we can't have that. If anyone is going to turn their back on anyone else, she's going to turn her back on us. It shouldn't matter who leads and who follows. We're working together here. Well, if it doesn't matter, then she can go first.
Non so se sono peli o
We're in this
tagli.
together. That doesn't mean we have to trust her. Somebody has to go first, and it might as well be us. We're the ones who broke her trust last time. You're talking a lot about trusting someone who, by her very definition, cannot be trusted. I don't know how many more warnings I have to dole out, but if you help her out of here, you're going to regret it.
Ah, sono qua. Scusami, posso mettere questo, ma non credo che migliori la situazione. Oppure questo. Allora, questi sono molto più leggibili per me, questo un po' meno. Allora, vi do un minuto per scegliere cosa fare. Prima noi o prima lei? Sono sicuro che questa scelta sia importante.
And turn my back on you? Do you think me a fool? Your tricks are one of the only things I've known, and I've learned better by now.
Just go first. The princess leans close, her nose twitching as she sniffs your neck inquisitorially. What is she doing?
I think she's trying to figure out if we're lying, so it's a good thing we didn't lie.
Your stink is the stink of a wretch, but not of a liar. If I have to go first, I'll go first. But I'll have you know my ears are sharp, and I've got eyes on the back of my head.
Sì, però così è troppo grande
Eyes on the back of her.
e si perde parte del discorso. Però posso provare ad aumentare un pochino le dimensioni del testo, che magari lo rende più leggibile.
No, we're fine.
The princess pointedly turns her back on you and starts up the stairs.
Ricorda come il mio cane quando le dico che non sto mangiando ma sente l'odore di cibo. Ok, il testo è normale ma un po' più grande, non dispiace neanche a me in realtà,
We're almost there. You better not try anything. I know you're thinking it.
Us? No, never. Just keep your eyes peeled when you get out of the basement, if you catch my drift.
I don't follow.
Oh, you'll know it when you see it.
The princess reaches the top of the stairs and crosses over the threshold, turning back to smile at you. But something catches her eye. Oh no.
Oh no? It's the blade, isn't it? I was going to tell you to grab it once we got upstairs. That was the whole keep your eyes peeled thing, and then you would have stabbed her in the back and we would have been winners.
I wonder if perhaps you were planning to bury this in my back. What an awful little scheme that would be. Too bad I got here first, and I don't even need it. Bye-bye, you loathsome little nuisance.
Ma stai scherzando?
Its lock swiftly clicks into place.
Locked in the basement. I thought for sure she was just going to stab us.
The princess cackles from the other side of the door.
How does it feel to be locked away and forgotten by the world? Isn't it just awful? No, you're going to sit down there forever, languishing.
I do, but I just couldn't help myself. And we both know that you're already scheming about how to get back at me if I ever open this door. So we're going to stay exactly as we are right now, for as long as either of us lives. As if I could ever trust you after everything you've done to me. And after what I've done to you, you can't trust me either. Neither of us is ever getting out of here. It's in our nature to be trapped.
You tried it. It's locked. You throw yourself against the door. It won't budge. Why isn't he saying anything? I think he's gone.
Oh, I didn't think I'd ever have to see you face to face again. Otherwise, I might have given you a little more courtesy at the top of the stairs. No hard feelings, I'm sure. Why is everything going away? I feel cold.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we... But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. If he thinks it's bad, I'm with him.
Porca troia.
Okay. If you say so. We'll trust you. Finally! We're going places.
Siamo di nuovo al long quiet.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. I am curious to see what it means for us to know it. This one is hope marred by bitterness and betrayal. She could see the end of the tunnel, and the door was closed on her. She will make for a righteous heart. Do not mourn her. She is finally on the other side. If I did, I would already be awake. It doesn't matter if there are. People are too small for us. You and I are the only things that interest me.
Che bello, queste domande non c'erano.
We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own. And because of that, nothing can't exist. No, their minds are empty, existent, but constantly shifting into something new. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
Posso dirgli che non lo è, ok?
I am on the cusp of my awakening. Perhaps you are on the cusp of yours. One. Whatever you bring
L'ultimo.
me next will be enough, and then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular, a final multitude.
Ce lo lasciamo per la settimana prossima, l'ultimo. Che io non mi sento... A parte che vorrei fermarmi in generale, però non mi sento in grado di acquisire nuove informazioni in grossa dose.
These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the contours of your heart. The only thing I want to see is what you choose for me when the thread is fully drawn. The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are.
Aiuto.
I will be here, waiting for you.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end.
Sì, anche perché 2 ore mi sembrano abbastanza. Purtroppo il sonno non aiuta.